Vendor bills are used to track actual expenses or anything that's ready to be paid out. So whenever you create a vendor bill in JobTread, it will populate the bills column in your job budget. Let's go ahead and log a new vendor bill. So I'll click plus document, and now I'll choose my vendor bill template. I have one template option in here, but you can always create additional templates in your JobTread settings. Here we'll choose our bill template, and then I'm going to choose which vendor the bill is for. So I'll choose Home Depot in this case because I'm just going to log a Home Depot receipt. And then this screen is particularly important when creating vendor bills. This is where you're going to reconcile your expenses against your budget. So here I'm going to expand all my items in my budget, and maybe also I'd like to choose to see the approved budget rather than the committed amounts. So I'll choose approved cost here, and now I can see how much money I originally had to work with in each of these areas. Now I can enter in the amount that I spent in each. So garbage bags, maybe I spent $70. Maybe for the dumpster, I spent $175. And then we can go down to cleaning materials. Maybe I spent $100. And then for accessories, we'll just say $1,800. Perfect. So at this point, I can go ahead and click create. And this should essentially match my receipt. So I would recommend uploading your receipt directly to this document. So let's go ahead and find the photo of my receipt. I'll drag it into the document, and now I can also change the name, the description, and add a tag for it. We'll go ahead and click done, and now I have the receipt logged within this bill. Now at this point, I can then choose an action that I'd like to take. So I don't need to send this to anyone. I also don't need to approve it for payment because I've already spent the money. So let's just go ahead and record the payment. This is where you're going to indicate the method of payment that you've used for this purchase. Now I already have some credit on hand from Home Depot, but let's just go ahead and create a new payment here. And I'm going to backdate this to yesterday when we made the purchases, and it was purchased by card. Maybe I have a reference number or a receipt number, and then I can also enter additional notes here. So we'll say miscellaneous materials with the company card. Great. And then I'm going to have it paid in full, so we'll just click save. Now you'll see that I have a paid bill, and it is a full paper trail for this receipt. Let's head into our budget and see what that looks like. Now if I scroll to the right, in the job costing section, you'll now see in the bills column, I went over on both of these items, but I went under on my finishing items. And in any case, I can always click on the line to see what paper trail informs that number. Now, you could also create your vendor bills the same exact way to pay out one of your vendors. You also have the option to convert a purchase order directly to a vendor bill to pay out your vendor. So let's go ahead and find our plumbing purchase order. I could either locate it by clicking on the line in my budget and opening it, or that will also be shown in my Documents tab. So let's go ahead and open up that purchase order. And now I have the option to convert the purchase order directly to a vendor bill. So I'll click on this. Now I can choose my vendor bill template that I'd like to use. And now I have the bill ready. All the scope of work was carried over, as well as any of my file attachments that were on the original purchase order. I also would encourage you to upload any bills sent to you from your vendor, maybe via email or some other method, so that you have their bill listed here. Now that we're ready to pay this out, I could always click Approve for Payment. That will mark this as payable. And then when I'm ready to cut my checks every Thursday, I can go through, look at all my payables, and then record the payment when I make it. So let's say the payment was made today and it was made by check, and here's my reference number, and I will just put paid in full. Great, we'll click save, and now we have a paid bill. Let's look at another use case here. So I also have a purchase order for my electrical items. So I'm actually going to convert that purchase order directly to a vendor bill as well. So I'll open it up, and then I'll click plus vendor bill, choose my bill template, And now I have a vendor bill for electrical. But let's say that the amount for electrical was actually higher than anticipated and we agreed to that. So I'm going to edit one of these numbers here. Let's edit labor by clicking on the item, and then I can change the total cost. So we'll say it became $3,100 instead. And now I can save that. Now that will be reflected as the actual amount in my budget. Additionally, we can mark this as payable, but we can also make multiple payments against this one bill. So let's record the first payment here. And let's say that this payment was actually made last week and it was made by check and it was strictly for materials only. All right, so now I can change this amount to the total from my materials, which is $525, and then click Save. Now you'll see it's still marked as payable, but we have made a payment against the total. Let's go ahead and do another payment, record payment, and now I can do the rest today, and I can say labor. All right, and now it will have the total balance. We'll click Save, and now I had 2 payments against the total, which now marks it as paid in full. So when we head back to our budget here and we scroll to the right, you'll see that we have all of our electrical items paid in full, and we did go over our original budget on the electrical labor. If you have any questions, contact your customer success manager or email support@jobtread.com. Thank you.